so like I was saying, the first step we need to do in order to put in holiday rules is to create a work group, because the holiday rules are work group based. So we're going to go to the administration menu. We're going to go down to List Center on the left, and we're going to click on Set Up Work Groups. Now, in here, in order to create a work group, we need to give it a code and description. Code is a 5-character max. It's just an ID for the system, really. And then description, it might be the same as a code. It might not be. So for you guys, if I was to say create a work group for management, maybe something like that, and then description I would put in management, click save, and then it gets added to the left in a list. So for you guys, you said you're going to have 5 work groups total. You're going to have, 5 different items on the left once you're all done. Just make sure you click new when you're starting a brand new work group. As far as creating the work group, that was all you have to do. The next step is to actually assign people to the work group. And the easiest way to do that would be to go to the admin menu, go to Employee Center, and go down to Quick Employee Information Update. Here you can select everyone who would belong to that management work group. We just check off the names. Now they get added here. So you just highlight their row, you click on the you select work group from the drop down, and you just select the work group, click the green arrow. Oops. Another thing you can do, if you click and drag over everyone, you can get everyone done in one shot. And then once you're done, you click save. So far, so good?
Yep.
All right. So now, once your employees belong to a work group, when we put in the holiday rules, it'll automatically apply to them. Setting up our holiday rules, we have to go to Work Group Center in the admin menu. And we only have 2 options. We're going to click on the last option, Holiday Rules. And now setting the holiday rules up is actually pretty easy. It's just a little time consuming depending on how many work groups you have and how many different sets of holiday rules you have. So let me show you the easiest one first. For starters, where it says for year, this is what year do these rules apply to? So it's going to be 2016. And then you have to select the work group. So I'm going to start brand new. I'm going to select management. As you can see, I don't have any rules currently in there. But so now let's say management's rule is they just get the holidays automatically off. Well, what we need to do is we need to click new, and we're going to start filling out this right side of the screen. The nice thing is, you see how it's kind of split up into 3 parts. We have the date and description up here. In the middle, we have apply holiday pay as overtime, and that's kind of this whole middle area. This bottom area, apply day off, or if they get any time earned on a regular day off. And then we have this button down here, which we'll get into once we're done putting in this rule. But so when it comes to these bottom 2 sections, it could be either the middle or the bottom as far as the rule goes. What I mean when I say that is when you're either getting a holiday pay or you're getting the day off. You can't do both, you know what I mean? So if the people are only getting the day off, all you have to do is fill out this section. If people are getting holiday pay, well then you just fill out the middle. You don't worry about the bottom. Am I making sense so far?
Yep.
Okay, I want to make sure, because some people I've seen both filled out. I said, well, they either get overtime or they get the time off. I've never heard of people getting both. So I just want to make sure that we're good with that. So for management, if they're getting the day automatically off, first we need to tell the system when they're actually getting the day off. So you see we have a date up here. This is going to be, whatever date you guys are observing it on, right? So if you, like, do you have a rule that says if a holiday falls on a Saturday, you get Friday off?
No, we just have specific dates.
Yeah, it's specific dates depending on the holiday.
Okay, so you're going to put those specific dates in here, in this section. So I'll put in Thanksgiving right now. So I'm going to select Thanksgiving is the 24th, right? I think so. Yeah, okay. So I select the date up here, and this is the day that my employees who belong to this work group are going to get off. Now in description, I could just put, Thanksgiving. And then since you guys have specific dates as opposed to like observed dates, you don't have to worry about marking it as an observed date. You could just put it in, just the date and description. Now, once you're done with that, if we're getting the day automatically off, well, we're not paying it out as holiday overtime, so we're going to go right on down to the bottom where it says apply day off. There's a checkbox, and it's pretty much asking, are we just going to apply the day off to working employees in this work group? We check it for yes, and then it's asking, well, what code are we going to apply? So I click select. I already have a holiday time off code built, so I'm just going to select holiday. Now, with you guys, you don't have like a holiday bank, right? It's pretty much either get the day off or you don't.
No, we do have a holiday bank. If they end up working that holiday, then they'll bank it.
Wait, so your management employees can choose whether or not they're going to take the holiday?
No, not management. As far as management goes, they get the day off. That's it.
Okay, but they don't have a bank for their holiday then?
No.
Okay, so in that case, where it says hours to deduct, just leave it set to 0. If we were pulling time from a bank, then you could put a number of hours in there. But if not, just leave it set to 0. That's totally fine. All right? So as far as putting in the rule to get the day, for me to get Thanksgiving, if I belong to management, that's all I needed to do. The date, description, check this box, apply day off to working employees, and select what time off code we're going to apply to these people, which I use my holiday time off code.
Okay.
Now, I'm sorry, go ahead.
What if one of those people works a different time period, like I work 7.5 hours opposed to the other management people who work 8 hours?
You all get the day off.
Okay, so it doesn't matter how many hours?
No, nope, not at all.
Okay.
It's just whatever you were scheduled to work, you're off.
Okay.
So, okay, you said also, record secretaries get the day off too, correct?
Yes.
So because they have to belong in a different work group, what you can do to kind of save yourself some time, instead of having to recreate this rule for the that other work group, what you can do is click this button, apply to other work groups, and then just check the box off next to whatever work group your record secretaries belong to.
Okay.
You just check the box, and then when you're done, you click save, and then you'll see that it gets added to the list. And if you want, like, so for instance, let me see if I have, trying to find another work group that maybe doesn't have it. I'm just going to delete this one really quick. All right. So I put in this rule. I'm going to click apply to other work groups, and let's pretend this is my record secretary work group right here. I click save. Now if I go there, boom, it got added to that list. So that's just one less holiday I need to recreate. And this is only if the rules are the same, right? So That's, you know, how you would put in a holiday rule to get the day automatically off. Any questions so far? I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You're just saying, yep, give them off. Here's the time off code we're going to use.
Okay.
So now the other side of that coin, the people who, you know, are scheduled, the people who work during the holiday, what kind of pay do they get?
It depends on what holiday it is.
Can you elaborate?
Well, if they're working like Christmas, then they're going to get we have 4 holidays that are different, which we call the 4 big holidays, and they'll get time and a half. Like Christmas.
On top of their regular pay?
No, they'll get time and a half pay instead of regular pay.
Okay, so technically they're only getting half pay for a holiday because they're already going to get their regular pay.
I guess if you want to look at it that way, it would be correct.
Okay. And then what about the other, you know, not big holidays?
Then they just get regular pay.
Oh, well, okay, so when it comes to holiday rules, if there's you know, no difference in pay, you don't really need to create a holiday rule for it.
Bank holidays, then? Like, work it. We get time off added to the.
You get to take you get to take a holiday day.
So on the, other than the 4 big holidays, if we're working on the holiday, then we get 8 hours or however many hours put into our holiday bank.
Okay, so you earn time when working a holiday besides the 4 big ones, right? Okay. Is it just hour for hour?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to walk you through how to do it for both. We'll call it the little holidays, and then how to do it for the big holidays. So once again, make sure that your 4-year is set to whatever year you're putting in the holiday for, and then make sure you have the right work group selected. So, you know, maybe I'll do it for New Year's Day. I'm going to click New. January, oops, that's 2016. January 1st. Say, you know, New Year's Day. So, is New Year's Day a big holiday or no?
Yes.
It is. Okay, so we'll do that first then. So what we're going to do is, so we have 2 kind of columns right here. This left side is asking, you know, what do we apply to people who are working that day? The right side is if people who are not scheduled to work that day, if they still get something. So if I was on a regular day off on a holiday, do I get anything?
No.
Nope.
Okay, what about if I was scheduled to work on a holiday and I took, like, say, a vacation day? Do I get anything?
You'll bank the day because you didn't take it. In other words, you'll bank that holiday time. You took it as vacation, so you're still going to bank the holiday time.
Okay, so if I was working but I took time off, I still get those hours.
Yes.
Okay. So the left side is for people who are working that day, and the right side will be for the people who were scheduled to work but took time off that day. So what we need to do is we're going to work on the left side first. We have a checkbox here, apply to working employees. We want to turn that on. what that's going to do is tell the system, take a look at the rules right below it, and we'll get into that in a second. On the right-hand side, we have two options. Either apply to employees on a regular day off, or apply to employees taking time off. We want to turn that bottom box on. Now what's going to happen is it's going to apply whatever rules we have right below it to those people. So this side is only dealing with the people working. This side, it's the same exact information, except now it's going to go to the people who are taking time off on that day. So the first field we need to fill out is, because what happens is the system just creates overtime for these people. That's it. An overtime entry gets automatically put in for them. The first, and we're going to fill out that overtime entry in this screen. So it's asking, what overtime code are we going to apply? I click select. Maybe I'm going to use holiday worked. That's my overtime code that I already have created in there. So if you don't have anything like holiday worked or a holiday overtime, you might want to create one before actually filling this screen out. Now the next part, overtime shift. It's asking, what shift are we applying this holiday overtime to? If you leave it blank, it just goes to whatever the people work that day. So most people just leave that blank unless you have like a holiday shift. But if you don't plan on using a holiday shift, you can just leave it blank. So if I was scheduled to work A shift and I work A shift, I'm going to get that holiday overtime for A shift. That's all that's going to happen. The next thing is what payment type gets applied to this overtime. I click select. So now in your case, because they're just getting, time and a half for those hours, you would have to create a 0.5 cash pay type, right? Like halftime. So if I was scheduled to work 10 hours, I'm getting paid for 15 total. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because what happens is if you were to tell the system, payment type is 1.5 cash, they would end up getting double and a half time because they're already going to get their regular pay right off the bat. This is just in addition to that. So because you're only getting time and a half total, it would be 0.5. So you would need to have a pay type of 0.5 cash.
Okay.
Now, in your department, it just goes based on, your work hours, right? Like there's no set amount of hours everyone gets paid for.
Works a double on Christmas. So they get.
Like if some people work, say, 10-hour shifts and you have other people working 8-hour shifts, it's just whatever they worked, right? It's not like a flat rate across the board.
Some people are going to get double time, like dispatch will get double big holidays, overtime. So they work the regular shift, and for overtime, they're going to get double time.
Okay. They would get time and a half for the first 8 hours and then double time for whatever they work after that?
Correct.
How do you like that for making sense?
Are you talking about working overtime on a holiday?
Yeah.
It's double time?
Yes. Well,
that's fine because they need to put that in themselves because it's overtime. This is just for regular work hours.
Okay. All right.
What you could do is create a holiday overtime and make the available pay type, 2.0 cash, whatever you guys have it as. But that if I work a holiday as overtime, I need to put that in myself. This right here is going to automate just the people who are regularly, scheduled on a holiday.
Gotcha.
So if I was scheduled to work on Christmas and then I worked another shift right after that, well, this would do half the work for me. I still need to put in for that overtime. But so what we're going to do for hours to apply, we're going to leave that set to 0 because what we're doing is we're going to apply it as work hours, meaning if I was scheduled to work 6 hours, I'm going to get 6 hours of half-time pay. If I'm scheduled to work 10, I'm going to get 10 hours. It doesn't, there's no set hours, right? It's whatever I work that day. We do have 2 other options. If you have a fixed amount of hours, meaning I don't care if you work an 8-hour shift, a 10-hour shift, or a 12-hour shift, you're going to get 8 hours of overtime. Well, then you could say, okay, fixed hours to apply would then be 8 in that example. So far, so good?
Yep.
All right, so I have my left side filled out, and that's all you need to do. So it's really just code to apply, payment type, leave hours to apply set to 0, apply as work hours. Now on the right side, because we have a checkbox here, we need to fill out the same exact stuff. Once again, just asking, well, what code are we going to use? I'll just say holiday again, that's fine. Now with the shift, if you leave it blank, it's going to refer back to whatever shift they took off of. Okay, so you're going to leave that blank as well. Now you said if I took vacation time on, say, New Year's Day, I just get that time back hour for hour in my comp bank?
Yes.
Okay, so then what you're going to do is, under payment type, you're just going to select straight time, comp. Whatever pay type you have in there, like me, it's 1.0T for time, so it's just going to be hour for hour straight time. I'm going to leave hours to apply 0 because I'm applying it as time off hours, meaning, you know, if I took off for 8 hours, I'm going to get 8 hours of straight time comp put into my bank. So I have both of these, columns filled out. I'm done with this holiday. Once again, if these same rules apply to any other work group, just check the boxes next to the name, and we click Save. So now, just kind of in summary, on Sunday, January 1st, 2017, New Year's Day is a marked holiday. For working employees, they're going to get holiday overtime. In your case, it would be payment type 0.5 cash. Hours to apply 0, apply as whatever hours I worked. Now, if I was taking time off, give me an overtime code of holiday, whatever it is, whatever you create. Leave the shift blank. It's going to go back to whatever shift I was scheduled to work. At straight time, comp, for time off hours, once again, hours to apply is 0. If the same rules apply to other work groups, select them and then click Save. And then you're just going to have to, click New, move on to so the nice thing is you're only going to have to do this 4 times, it looks like, because you only have 4 holidays where, time is being either accrued or the payment is getting affected. So then you would just have to do that 4 times, right, for each work group. New Year's Day, Christmas, what the other 2 big holidays that you guys observe. And you said for the rest of the holidays, you just pretty much get that time hour for hour.
Yeah, for police side, yeah.
All right, so in that case, so once again, if I was taking time off on a holiday that isn't a big holiday, do I still get the hours put back into my bank?
Yes.
Okay, so in that case then, the other little holidays, I'll call it, the rules are going to be similar, except the only thing you're changing is that payment type to be straight time across the board in both sections. So you're going to kind of want to mirror what you have. Overtime code to apply, leave the shift blank, payment type, straight time comp, hours to apply 0, 0, apply as work hours and time off hours. So you do have to do this for each holiday, but like I said, if, say the next one you put in is President's Day, if other work groups have that rule, well then just click the Apply to Other Work Groups button. So you're doing a little, it's a little less work in the long run.
Now, what if, so in this case, we get paid straight time, but we're also banking 8 hours of holiday time.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time?
So for this scenario, we're getting paid, if it's a holiday, if it's one of the minor holidays, we're getting paid our regular pay, straight time, but then if we're working, we also bank 8 hours in our holiday bank.
That's exactly what's going to happen with this rule.
Okay.
And then if you're not, so if you're taking time off that day, well then you're just getting those hours put back into a comp bank.
Oh, okay, I see, because you got the 1.0 T. Okay, I got
Yep.
it.
So like I said, you're going to have to, if it's different for every work group, which I doubt it is, you would have to do this, for each work group. But it looks like you're only going to have to do this twice, right? One for your management / record secretaries who just get the day off, right? And that was all you had to do. And then for your police, depending on how many work groups you have, you put it in. So you're going to have to fill out both sides, right? Where is it? Whoops, 2017. You have to fill out both sides, make sure these check boxes are checked. And the only difference between the big holidays and the minor holidays is the payment type. It's either going to be 0.5 cash or straight time comp for the minor holidays. And that was really all you have to do to put in the holiday rules. So if you want to go ahead and just put in like an example holiday rule or whatever, if you have any questions while you're putting it in, I can wait on the line.
Hold on 1 second.
No problem.
So we put one in for Veterans Day for this year for management, which is their holiday.
I mean, yeah, now that we went over the screen, it's pretty kind of self-explanatory, right?
Yeah. So our rule, it's going to be harder to figure out our rules than it is fill out the blocks.
Yeah, so this is something that, you know, you could either do it, you know, once a year, or if you're, you know, if you have some time available, what I would recommend is just trying to get, you know, maybe the next few years kind of done in one shot. You would just have to change the 4-year like I did. I changed it to 2017, so I'm already working on next year's holidays. That's all you got to do. Because, you know, this isn't something that'll repeat itself, only because certain holidays fall on different days, and, you know, the system doesn't know that. So you will need to manually put in each holiday, you know, for whatever year you're working on.
Trying to see if we have any other abnormalities of, you know, contract.
Okay.
Police get a floater in addition to their 13 holidays, but we can just call that an extra holiday.
Now, does it have to have a date per se?
For that floater, you're better off just kind of manually putting it into their time bank, as opposed to trying to automate that. It would actually be quicker for you guys just to put that in their time bank.
Okay. Is there a step to this as far as being paid out for unused holiday pay, or is that another step in the process here?
Well, that would just be a time sellback. That has more to do with payroll than it would with the holiday rules.
Okay. All right. So that step when we get there.
Okay, I think we're good then.
All right. Yeah, I guess we're ready to go with this project, or this part of the project.
Okay. All right. Well, if you run into any questions or problems, you know, while doing this, or, you know, maybe about anything, it doesn't matter. You know, feel free to sign up for a help out session. Help out sessions are almost kind of like exactly what we did today, except it's really just, hey, what problems do you have, and we'll take a look at your system. If you forget how to do anything, you know, sign up for a help out, and it's a 45-minute one-on-one session, and we work directly on your system. So you also have that option available too if you ever, you know, run into trouble setting something up.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.